Okay, now we're all seeing. We're kind of out of time right now. You guys are amazing.
Okay, let's get started. Welcome everyone to Botcon 2023. Right now we're going to do our Beast Wars panel, and we have some very special guests here who I've already introduced, but I'm going to do it again for the people that came in late. So, starting over here to the left, we have Venus Terzo. We have Sue Blue.
Yeah!
We have Scott McNeil. And the always awesome Garry Chalk. So we're going to do, this is Q&A panel. Garry alluded earlier, please, if you're asking a question, please be as clear and concise as possible. I'm going to hand you a mic so you can be heard, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I guess we can just do a little talk amongst ourselves, and just talk to the crowd.
Who wants to go first?
Well,
Hello. Microphone.
well, I just want to say a big thank you to the organizers of Botcon and a very special thank you to all the volunteers who have made this weekend very special, and I know how tired and how crazy it's been, but I just want to say a big thank you to them and a very big thank you to all of you for being here today.
Beautifully said. Now, could you do it one more time? Just give me a little bit more energy. Sure.
Sue, are you voice directing?
I can't help it. Yeah, thank you, you guys. I mean, the reason that we're here is because of you guys. There's no way we would be here without you wanting us to be here. So, thank you. I'm very humbled and grateful.
They say in this industry, sincerity is everything. Once you've learned how to fake that, you've got it made. But I mean, because everything that you say is true. And by the way, Sue has been making all three of us jump through hoops for like decades. You are my favorite director, and I've said that a million times.
I love you, Scott.
We've been doing this for a while. Yeah. Me use words properly. I mean, you guys being here is astonishing. I'm looking out right now on a phone. I've met most of you already. And even through my scrambled brain, I'm actually remembering some names, which is weird. Okay. You guys are like sparkly and shiny and amazing. And the energy when you walk into a place like this, it's got that kind of energy. It comes whipping off the dance floor, and it hits us sitting at our tables, and it's better than coffee in a whole freaking world. It's like amazing from you guys.
What he said. With a louder, bigger voice. No, I again iterate. This is, I think this is Botcon's first trip to Rutherford, New Jersey, and I think they've done a bang-up job. And well done, bravo, kudos to all you guys out there. And, I'm so thankful for all you people out here who make it possible for us to be here. And so I say thanks again. And what he said.
Which is what she thinks.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and open it up for questions. So, I want to go down memory lane for a minute.
Look, there's a hand that came up first.
He's gonna burst. I actually saw him.
Bit of a keener.
No.
just sit down here with you.
You still gotta stand up.
Get back up.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, we'll
There
see
you
what
go.
sounds you make when you get back up now.
What do you think would happen if Waspinator got like upgraded, like became transmetal or something like that?
You mean like got upgraded to like be in the new movie kind of upgrade?
Like the upgrade that Optimus Primal got when the transmetal wave hit.
Not even bother worrying. Waspinator, no Waspinator, the transmetal upgrade. This is what happens. Whoever trains another Waspinator rusts.
Any thoughts about the transition back then from regular animation to more 3D animation? Was it a shift at all, or you just saw character on the screen, it's the same technique?
I really love 2D animation. I really love the old-fashioned animation, and I think the very first show, scold me if I'm wrong, that they did 3D with was Reboot. You know, it got better as time went on, and I think Transformers was a very new show to 3D. And what was great about it was, you know, we were all robots. In 3D animation, in the beginning, if you notice the hair, they could never get the hair. You know, I mean, it was crazy. So, I mean, I just love 2D animation, but I think it's really opened up because of 3D. And they can really animate quite a lot quicker. So that's my thought.
Kind of from our point of view, it didn't make any difference as far as working in the studio. Except, you know, we had to act in 3D, which is...
That's why we were all together.
Especially for those of us who take to live in the fourth dimension anyway. But, yeah, it's just that, I mean, Reboot was the first one, and you think how much CG has progressed in such a short amount of time. I mean, it was the same guys. I don't know if anybody remember the Garry Chalk's Money for Nothing music video. That was the first. That was the same guys that started mainframe and started doing. So we did Reboot. We did Weirdos, and well, actually, I think Beast Wars was the second.
Yes.
Yeah, before.
But what made it? I mean, straight up, what made Beast Wars such an outstanding series was the writing. And that was Larry and Bob, and a lot of, you know, we've been doing a lot of, yeah, I mean. We started to kind of know, like, we're involved in something special here. We didn't know how special it was going to be. Not hockey helmet special, but like, special. So it was one of the first North American style shows that we had done with an ensemble cast where it wasn't like, okay, 22 minutes of fun adventures and we're going to save the universe and we're going to do a PSA at the end and sell some action figures. You know, the storyline, the 3-year storyline of Beast Wars was extraordinary. We got to go on in that journey. The other thing that was cool, because it was so hands-on, was, you know, they were there, the people that were doing the designs and the animation and everything were coming into the sessions. So the characters got to grow a lot more organically because of that interaction and because of the animation style. They were able to, like, Waspinator was originally a pretty straight-ahead bad guy. You know, then Doug and I monkeyed around with the voice and came up with this thing, and then the writers started calling me, McNeil's an idiot, man. But I remember when we saw the first episode,
Yeah.
we were just like, oh God! Because there was little things when Megatron went, just and his little hand, just so it was like, I get goosebumps. What it was just brilliant. You know, when I first saw Rattrap, I'm going, it's the same thing. I was talking to moving in the studio, except he didn't grab his crotches much. And so they were able to capture the nuances. And what animation is to me, the greatest of animations, is not making something move, right? Anybody can make the jaws and the mouth and the face move. animation is breathing life into it. Like Chuck Jones, I think, was the greatest animator of all time, because he could do more with his characters with a blink of an eye, just a beep, beep. You know, Bugs Bunny, Brunner, all the Warner Brothers. There was so much life, and the mainframe guys got to do exactly that to a computer, but not make it seem like it was generated by a computer, because they put the life into the characters. Every bit as much as we did, every bit as much as the writing did. And it was stunning to watch for us as the first time. It was just wow.
I'm gonna go back to the back for a second, and then work my way up.
I just want to add one thing. It was the actors, though, because the tracks were done before the animation. So when those animators came in to watch a session, these actors had to be brilliant. These actors had to be really good to give the animators the ideas to be able to animate to the dialogue track. So kudos to you guys.
People ask all the time, you know, they said there's this idea that we just kind of stand there in front of the microphone with our hands in our pockets, and with the exception of the esteemed Ian James Corlett, who in fact does stand there with his hands in his pockets, and yet delivers these ridiculously amazing animated performances, people that have come in and watched are surprised at how physical it actually is. Like, we're usually about, speaking Gary, you're about 2 monkeys in the studio. And it's like, is it always like that? It was like, oh yeah, you've only got one thing to channel the whole performance through. But that whole performance has to be there. You're not standing there doing a voice, you're doing a character. So that's a little inside information.
I love the way that
Every character had a gesture. I remember Tarantulas, Alec Willows. He was always going,
I had to stand next to him. It was so creepy. I'm feeling clean still.
when he would play in Silverbolt, it was always strike that and go, I love you, Blackarachnia. It was very bizarre, but you know, where did that relationship go? Now that's the one thing I loved about recording an ensemble in the studio, is because the performances became very organic. You feed off of each other. You're not just trying to guess what the other person's going to say or how they're going to react. They just react the way they would in a moment, like in real life on camera acting.
Especially tarantulas who would literally try to feed on you.
I know. And you just, hi. Anyway, there was a question way in the back.
I just wanted to add to that. Sue really helped us a lot, because when we first started recording Beast Wars, we would do line by line, right? And then as time progressed and as you got to know us better and our characters, we got to do scenes. Remember, you let us run the scene, which was really cool because it gave us a chance to not just do like one line at a time, but actually run the scene and play the moment, and it was a lot of fun.
I got to do scenes with myself. Everybody else would just leave.
I went out, we all had to leave the room.
Scott's got one of his scenes.
Now this poor guy is just sweating bullets here trying to get this question out.
So, if there's going to be a sequel to Rise of the Beast, do you think they're going to have Rattrap, or, like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, but it'd probably be voiced by Taylor Swift. They may not have the best interests of the franchise at heart, is all I'm saying.
It could be John Leguizamo as well. So.
Yeah, you know, I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with that.
So would I. It's like, that's an incredible actor.
Yes.
Would I do it? Yes. Would I ask a lot of money? Yes. Would I end up doing it for free? Probably.
Hi, was the G1 connection always planned, like from the start, or did it like pop up somewhere along the line?
Yes.
We are supplying, we don't know the answers to your question.
The G1 connection?
mean, like, you know, they ended up finding, oh, this is actually Earth millions of years ago. Oh, dang, there's the Ark, all that. Was that, like, eventually leading up to that plan from the beginning, or did it end up coming?
I think it evolved. It didn't happen at the beginning because we were coming from a completely new place. We're looking at 20 years difference between generation 1 and ours. But then it slowly evolved, and so that timeline came into play, as far as I know. And I mean,
Someday they'll find us, the G1 connection.
Musical.
And robots and me.
Rattrap the musical.
We're gonna do that. Reboot the musical. No.
Rattrap.
Transformers the musical.
Hey, it worked for Star Trek.
Or for Rattrap the musical.
Yeah! I mean, yeah!
Yeah.
Rat trap on ice.
Okay, we have. Who has the microphone? Okay, he who has the mic speaks.
Hey, so my question's for Scott. What was it like having to party?
Slow down, speak clearly.
I heard him.
I did.
So my question's for Scott. What was it like having to party with yourself as Rattrap and Dinobot?
You know how sometimes there's things that are on the inside that you don't see, but then you get to see them on the outside and you realize what it's like on the inside?
No.
Yeah, it's that. What more inside? And I will take you on the old-fashioned way. But I'll tell you, you want to see a train that Dinobot. Or should I say, I know, shut up, Rattrap. You're more frightening friend than this whole party. And then, of course, the woman would step in and say, citizens, I am strong, proud, brave, fast, dumb as a second.
I remember when I used to see faces out there, now you just see phones.
Why did everybody stop talking?
So Dinobot started the Stone Age, so thank you.
Yes.
So my audience is also a fire truck and a gorilla, which is not a monkey, it's not even friendly, because monkeys have dicks. So how do you guys feel about like the controversy of these stores when it came?
Oh, the truck versus monkey?
Truck's not monkey.
Don't look up Trump versus monkey ever on the internet.
Well, personally, I like them both. I like the trunk and the monkey because they're cool.
They should make a
What
like
can I say?
a
It's a
monkey
trunky.
truck. Monkey truck up to
And
this.
Internet, you're absolutely correct. Monkeys do not in fact have teeth. You know what's weird? When Beast Wars came out, or Beasties, as we had to call it in Canada, you know, it came out and there was an immediate sort of knee-jerk backlash reaction from Gen 1 fans. I mean, kind of rightly so. This was like but it was neat because it didn't take long for the writing to take effect and people started going, oh, wait a minute. This is good. And people kind of started to come aboard, and it was neat to watch.
You guys did a lot of episodes and a lot of really good scenes and things together and so on. I want to ask, was there ever an episode that you did where you're like, this is so good it needs a sequel, why are we doing this? Or was there an episode you're like, I want more of this specific storyline or story arc, and you're kind of sad that it had to end it in 22 minutes and you didn't get the follow-up? Besides just a fourth season, obviously.
Well, you know what? I've got to be quite honest with you. When Dinobot was killed, it killed me.
Yeah.
I thought there was so much more, there was so much dimension and growth to that guy's character. He could have gone on a lot further, but no, he had to die in that painful episode, and that was one thing I would like to have seen extended further and further. And I also, with myself, well, I just go along for the ride, that's all.
How come at the time you just said, thank God he's gone?
Well, there was that.
Can I say,
While we're being nice to each other, thank you. I've watched Code of the Hero a couple of times now because I hadn't seen it until I went to my first Botcon and people were like reacting and I watched it and I was like, God damn it, right? And the show was so good that we were able to, like, I became a fan of the show. I would just watch it. It had nothing to do with the fact that we were in it. But your eulogy for Dinobot, it kills me every freaking time I've watched it. I goosebump up and I start crying like a baby. It's so beautifully delivered, it's so beautifully written. And that's all you, right?
Oh, thank you.
If I happen to go dead now, Gary's doing my eulogy.
I gotta say, putting, I don't know if it was a blessing or a curse to lose Dinobot because having him in depth charge on the same show, somebody would have chose violence.
My question is mostly a design question, and I also did a lot of debate this. I know that Optimus Primal also has a mask, but he can remove it. You think it would be better if Optimus Primal kept the mask on all the time, but you think having the big blue mask is fine? And one side kind of inconvenience. So.
Well, I'll tell you, with the mask on, it's easier for foreign countries to do ADR. Because there's no lip flaps to match.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the old dog smile from having McNeil. He's worthy. Why should I get off so easy? Why should other foreign actors get off so easy? Let them match mine.
Screw the mandate, man. Screw the mandate.
That's right.
No masks for Optimus.
That's right. No masks.
So when it comes to doing voices with any character in any show, do you guys have, can you hear me?
I can hear you, I just don't know where you are.
Right here.
I mean, sometimes I hear voices from it.
How often is it your own? But when you guys are choosing voices for your characters, any show, how much is the director looking for a specific voice and how much is it your choice? And how do you pick them?
Yeah.
Fire away.
Well, first off, I'd like to do when Sue Blue here, who directed the show for Optimus, was originally going to be Megatron. But they thought that somehow that David Kay would be a better Megatron and I would be a better Optimus. And I remember you telling me, okay, make it warmer, make it more, not stern, but quality. Make it this, make it that, and adding all these things until we finally came to a point where he became a mammalian or no organic human, basically a human.
He was perfect.
And it turned out apparently perfect. But that's for that character. A lot of times you'll get a drawing, and you'll look at it, you'll get a sort of a character sketch. And you look at the physicality of the character. What kind of a voice? Has he got a big voice, a little voice? Is he scrawny and thin, or big and fat? Does he have an accent? Is he mean, or is he nasty? Whatever. Does he have teeth? Does he have big jowls, or no, or whatever he has, or she has, and or they today. And you look at it and you say, well, even though it's a cartoon, it still has attachment to the real world. And the important thing about any character is that we as an audience have to care about that character. And the only way that we care is if what comes out of you as an actor is honest and for real, because even though it's a fantastic character, they live in this fantastic world, but in that world, they're real, right? And that world is real to them. So if you make it real to you, then we as an audience listen to you and go, oh, yeah, okay, I like that, because what's the worst thing that can happen to an actor in an animated production is for someone not to care about it. If you're a bad guy, if we really hate you, yes, I'm doing my job. If we really love you, yes, I'm doing that. If we feel for you, it's all those attributes, and they come partially out of the how you analyze the voice for yourself, and it's kind of an organic connection between you and the director, and of course, the creators of the characters as well. So that's my take on it.
I forgot what I was going to say. That's the greatest voice actors in the world that have ever existed and probably will ever exist. I mean, I say it number one all the time, it's not blank. And I say this all the time, is that they never, ever created a voice. Because, you know, anybody can create a voice. They always 100% created a character.
Yeah.
A character. Even though my therapist tells me that rabbits don't talk, screw you, they need to. As far as creating the voices is coming up, because I know you specifically asked about this, there's like sometimes you will get a ream of information of exactly what the producer wants. Sometimes it's too much. Because it's usually like, well, we're sort of thinking kind of this, but it also has to be that. We want to have the qualities of water and color, but it should sound more like. Sometimes you get nothing. I said what Garry says, I work personally off a picture. If I see a picture of a character, I got a fairly clear idea of what's happening. What used to happen in the days of going into audition, and there would be casting directors there, and before you got to work with the directors, somebody that when it becomes a, I'll cite from what I know, when I went into reading, Doug Parker was the one that did the casting on Beast Wars, who also played Terzo. I went into audition for this thing, and you know, I'm reading for all the characters, as I do. So we came to Waspinator, and it's like, okay, Waspinator is just a pretty standard bad guy, right? And so I'm kind of doing my thing. Sometimes I'll go like, okay, that's what you guys think you want to hear. Sometimes I'll go, well, I got an idea you want to try, or they'll say what you just did sucked, but what else you got? So you come up with those stuff. But Doug went, you know that little bubble voice you do? And I'm like, where? And I'm like, where? I'm on a prison. He's like, yeah, do that, but he's a bad guy. I was like, oh, okay, that's an interesting idea. Oh, so I took that voice and started to go, okay, you know, he's a credit card. And then I'm like, wait a minute, he is a wasp. So we put kind of, and he just started throwing ideas at me, and I started bouncing ideas back and forth, and within like 5 minutes, you come up with Waspinator was your. And then we started working with the band, and it was like, you know, again, Sin's on board, we're like, you're an idiot, why don't we make the character dumber? It is in perfect synergy, like a perfect storm. That's how it should be, and it's wonderful to be in that perfect storm because it's all this creativity comes together, and then every now and then lightning strikes, and you get a character that just lands, and it's so much fun. I get it.
And the secret of finding the right actor to play the role, I probably listened to 50 Waspinators, you know? And the secret is to when you go into audition and you're looking at the character design, you're trying to figure out the voice. What can I do to get this part? What can I do that's going to be right on what that, you know, fulfilling the writer's intention? That's our job as an actor. What colors can I bring to the character that are real, that are from my gut and heart? And how can this character be different than the 49 other people auditioning for this role? That's the ingredients, guys. And Scotty had that with Waspinator. You're welcome.
For me personally, I ditto to everything everyone said on the panel. It's a visual. Like initially, you get the character, the drawing of the character. You look at it, you study it. You're like, okay, trying to figure out exactly what the director, the producers, the creators want. Then you get your sides. So you run over your sides, and then depending on the show that you're working on, some ask for real life sounding voices, so they want your own voice, right? So you don't even have to create a character voice. Sometimes they want it cartoony, sometimes it works, depends on what works for the character. But when you go in, you have an idea of what you're capable of doing and what you do in the audition. But if you're lucky enough to have a director in the room, they can, offer their advice and tell you, oh, try it like this or try it like that, which gives you, more of an opportunity. And I think that that's where the magic happens, is not only like you coming into the room, but connecting with the director or the casting director, whoever's auditioning you, so that they bring out the best qualities in your voice or the best, idea of the character.
Exactly. One thing that really stuck with me was Suklu. I love this one. Word of mouth. Is that word of mouth?
That's the book.
The book. She wrote this book called Word of Mouth about voiceover and voicing. And I've actually used it many times. I love that book. And one thing that's always stuck with me over the years, people say, well, how do you manage to do all those different voices and try that? And I said, well, I watched her. And one day she goes, we have all kinds of different voices in us. We have the voices that are at the top of our head, in our eyes, into our nose, front of your mouth, the middle of your mouth, the back of your throat, down into your chest. Now I have a bit of gravel to that to every one of those. Your nose, your eyes, your top of your head. Add a speech impediment of some sort. Change the shape of your jaw. And all of a sudden you've got like 20, 30 characters that you can play with. Well, 20, 30 foundations that you can play with. And it stuck with me for years. Every time you do that, she does this thing where it takes every resonator in your body. Goes all the way through it. It's pretty amazing to watch.
I sometimes can't understand when a producer or a network executive, and by the way, Venus mentioned sides. Those are the audition. It's like a paragraph that they have to impress with, like a little paragraph sometimes. But when a producer or an executive says to me, okay, here's what we want, Susie, we don't want anybody cartoon. We want like real voices. Well, you know what? That's BS. Because what they want is they want somebody that is multi-dimensional and interesting and quirky. They want a really good actor. So, when they say we don't want, Waspinator, that's about as cartoony as you can get. But it's brilliant because it's a full-dimensional character.
And we love him.
Blackarachnia is a full-dimensional character because she's a good actress. You look at the old films. If you're interested in becoming a voiceover actor or even an actor, try to look up the old black and white Betty Davis films. For the guy, Tracy, Spencer Tracy. Look at these films. Humphrey Bogart. They were cartoony, but they were real. So I always think that producers and executives don't know what they're talking about when they say, we don't want cartoony voices. I know what they're looking for. So there.
Yeah.
I'll probably never work in this town again.
I don't remember how to Waspinator again because he does the best Waspinator in the world.
Waspinator happens because Optimus Primal likes him.
Okay, question.
Right.
I have an interesting question for Scott McNeil.
Uh-oh. How interesting.
Say if Dinobot was alive in Beast Machines, how do you think he would react when he found out that Vermin is dating a transforming plant?
Great buzz for us. What would Dinobot think of? Good Lord, this never happens. Talker. We were a little confused, or at least I'm speaking for myself with BC Shoes. Because first of all, I thought the design of the show, the aesthetic of the show was astonishing. Especially from my Rattrap point of view. It's like, okay, I'm no longer a tiny little mouse. I thought he looked dope. But the writing, we were never really sure what was happening. Because they didn't give us any, so, if we'd known maybe that there was this dynamic coming up and this arc coming through with Britannica And then suddenly Silverbolt was in it, and like, you know,
Hair razor.
Gary was just going, what's happening with my character? What's happening?
No, that was me.
Yeah, I know. I was saying.
What's happening to me?
We never kind of got a flow going on that, and unfortunately, it took so long for anything to start happening in that series that by the time we kind of started to do it, there was no more series. So, I mean, it's not really the answer that probably to the question that you were asking, but it's like, I don't know, we didn't know what the heck was going on. Who's in charge?
Oh, here comes the microphone. The microphone is like the version
Oh, we're
of
talking
stick. Yeah.
What do you think would happen if there was another Rise of Beasts and characters like Rampage and Lado Convoy and Big Convoy showed up in it?
They would probably give the roles to Taylor Swift. Whoever's the biggest celebrity right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
We have some in the front here.
The road.
This one is for Scott and Gary.
Yes.
Otherwise known as Hack and Slash.
Yeah.
Simply put, what happened in Reboot?
And what happened to the reboot?
happened to the
And I know enough to know that they actually did a reboot. For some reason, they took the first CG animated TV series ever made, and in the reboot, they decided to do live action.
And there you have it. This is what happens when executives and producers say, hey, you know what would be You know, I'm thinking that if we had like live people, and then they sort of went into the computer world, and we kept the same villains, we got rid of the heroes and the comic relief. How would that work?
Yeah, it's not 1937 anymore. We don't do those kind of cartoons. Sorry, that was too soon. Okay. But it was fun to work on. Hack and Slash, they let Gary and I go to town. Well, actually, originally it was you and Phil.
Yes, we ad-libbed.
Like crazy. And we just go, okay, you know what? We got it in the can, it's scripted, so yeah, turn on the Hack and Slash machine and go. Okay, that was funny, do something funnier, go. Okay, that was pretty good, do something funnier, go. Okay, we don't know. Okay, one more. Funny. Come on, it's like the best.
You shall feel the place that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Am I in charge? Don't make me be in charge.
Just
Okay, you look like you're about to pop. Blue shirt.
Blue shirt, here it is.
Blue shirt, right?
He's got the mic.
I got the mic.
Oh shit, sorry.
That's shoot.
Shoot.
That's the network version.
So, you just mentioned ad-libbing. I wanted to ask, so did your cast ad-lib a lot during Beast Wars, and did any lines actually make it into the script or into the final version?
I loved when they ad-libbed. There was nobody that ad-lib more than Scott.
It's because I can't read properly.
Yeah, but I loved giving the freedom to the actors to be able to do that. But I knew that we had to do a take like that, but as written, because what it does do for the animators, it kind of boxes them in if you don't have, if you do that too much, because they just can't animate that. And it messes them up, and then we have to bring them in after it's animated to do the ADR, which is automatic dialogue replacement, because the animator will go, I am not going to use that ad-lib. I am animating it this way, and then so later we have to bring the actors into ADR if the budget allows it.
Yeah.
So I always like to always do a safe take. Go ahead, do your ad-lib, be free as a bird, but give me one as written.
Or the animators just go, you know what, let's put a mask on.
So I had a question about this because we're talking about voice acting, voice directing. Chopper Face, Dinobot's nickname from Rattrap. Where did that come from? Because I'm clueless as to how you would get from a Velociraptor to Chopper Face?
I don't think that was something. I don't think that was something that I created. I think again that was Larry and Bob writing.
Yeah.
You know, and when the clues in the script are that powerful and that size,
This was better.
Excuse me. When the clues are in the script, it makes our job very easy. And in subtle clues like that, in simple things like that, because you know, as soon as you're going, okay, I'm not really sure what this character's about. Hey, I just called somebody Chopperface. That tells me a lot about the character that I'm playing. And then you start the first time, like Silverbolt, when he came in, they brought in 2 new characters, Quickstrike and Silverbolt. I read from both, and I was really aiming at Quickstrike. I went, I get that. That's fun. Oh, the Murdoch just killed. It's like I'm not even touching that. But then they gave me Silverbolt, which surprised me. And they were going, well, just use your voice. I'm going, I have no idea what that is. There it is, right there. Well, technically, none of this is my real voice. But, and then I said the word citizen. And I don't know if it was in the script or I just said it in the studio, and somebody was just like, there he is, citizen. All right. And, you know, and suddenly there was this old paladin, like, you know, dumb but honorable. And so those little clues are invaluable to us. And sometimes the writing just doesn't work. You just read the line, you're like, there it is. There's the character. All I gotta do is make it talk. I love writers. I love good ones.
So, you know, one of the phenomenal things about casting is I have sat behind the table with producers and directors casting for my partner or whatever in a TV show or movie. And or a play. I remember doing this audition for a play called Osage Orange County. It's a big play. Anyway, they wanted me to come in and read with 4 or 5 different women, and so I did. And the remarkable thing about those actors when they came on stage is every single one of them brought something unique, something different, and you act accordingly to what they give you, so you react off of them, you know, and there's this kind of a strange thing with organic casting or organic play in our animation as well. But I remember a couple of times I was sitting with producers and I'm saying, I don't know how you're going to choose this person. And this one girl who actually got the part, they said, I don't know, there was a little moment where the vulnerability shone through like a little beam of light through a dark wall. And I said, yeah? He said, that's the one. And she was the one. And it was really remarkable because she was hilarious. And then on the other side of that coin, I am doing a big old mini-series many years ago, and I sat with the producers and we were trying to pick a defense lawyer for Farrah Fawcett in a mini-series called Small Sacrifices. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching all these guys. They're all A-list actors out of Toronto. And they're all really good. And I'm going, I don't know how you're going to choose. Oops, you turned me off. I don't know how. Well, I'll just use my voice. I don't know how you're going to choose. But the guy, Lou Rudolph, who was the producer, he turns around and he goes, honey, calls his wife. His wife comes over, watches the tapes, and she goes, I love that tie. The guy was wearing a bright yellow tie, and she said, I love that tie. And that guy got the job. It's so bizarre, but true. But don't get me wrong. Every one of those actors was fabulous. You could have spun a wheel of fortune and hit on him, and everyone would have done a good job. But she said the yellow tie. But that's how it works. So you just never know. There's always something magical that shines through, like Sue was saying. You know, and like with Scott with his Waspinator voice, and you just look at it and you go, ooh, that's pretty cool. And now I stole a voice for a show called Weirdos. Remember Weirdos?
I played the mechanic. I thought, you know, I like mustard on my french fries. It tastes really good. Take that old snake leg and throw it up there. There you go.
And they went, oh, that's the voice. And I stole it off of the movie Sling Blade.
Quite funny.
What are your thoughts on Kingdom, and if you were given the chance to voice on it, would you?
What is Kingdom?
The Netflix series.
Netflix series. Oh, Kingdom.
Okay, yeah, I didn't really know what it was until Squirrel started bringing the toys up, and I'm like, excuse me, connected toys and action figures. And I was so upset, I'm like, what's this from? And they're like, oh, it's from, because I'm going, that's Dinobot, that's Rattrap. I went, oh, okay, so there's a series. Am I in it? And,
So we don't care.
yeah, well, kind of, you know, like, Ross Benedetta was voiced by Tom Kenny in another series, and you're like, you know, Ross Benedetta, aren't you living pineapple under the sea? But at least it's Tom Kenny. This one, you know, at the risk of throwing shade, because I don't know much about it, but universally the reaction I've got from you guys is, you know, Netflix tried to save it, and they hired it, and it's like, is it any good? Who's the voice of Dinobot? I don't know, they just got some guy who stinks. Who's the voice of blah blah blah? It's like, I don't know, they just got some guy who stinks. You know, it's if you're gonna pay $50 a day for voice talent, that's what you're gonna get.
Well, that was a non-union show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a non-union show. I remember.
Show.
Huh? Yeah, it was because I remember watching it and going, man, you could drive a truck through these lines. It's just like,
You know,
but
and
that's
it's like,
just.
They didn't
can we
ask
sell the
me to
show?
direct
Sure.
it. About unions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
How come it's not pronounced onion?
Unfortunately, we have
Don't cross the line.
No holes in that. So, you know, they're getting what they're paid for. They don't really care. Should have got Taylor Swift.
They
I
made
don't even know where that came
millions.
from.
If anybody can get tickets to Taylor Swift,
I cite her as an example.
All right, let's give it up for
No.
One more question.
Yeah, we got hands. Who's got a quick question? A very quick
I
question.
got time for
So
one
there are
more
1, 2,
question.
3 hands up.
Y'all
Oh,
pick.
you just snuck it in. How fast can you move that microphone?
How loud can you speak?
I get paid to be loud.
Well, there you go.
Give us one thing that you got back from, learned from a character you played.
Wasp Benedetta was an idiot. You know what I mean? Explain something like Dinobot. You know, I go, okay, that must have come from somewhere. You know, maybe I'm a little better person than I think I am. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What's the matter like Taylor Swift?
Okay, lightning round.
The one thing I learned was being a dad is really hard.
But I was
use
using
your
your
brains instead of your looks.
Shout it out. Okay, there's one in the back, sort of in the back, middle back, directly behind the red, beautiful shirt with the flames on it. So if you turn around, yeah, you just look behind yourself to see who's
Front to back, go.
Go fast.
If you could add an animal from Beast Wars, like a Maximum Predacon, who would you add?
Who would I add?
Like an
You talking to my breakfast menu?
an animal not in Beast Wars, like not another rat.
You know, I don't think it'd be bloody nice if they had like a kiwi or a kangaroo, some sort of.
Kangaroo.
Okay, we got to stop.
Besides, the kangaroo can eviscerate. Okay, we got 2 hands.
Oh, we have.
Okay, you and then you. Go fast. What was the favorite character I ever played? The one that paid the most.
Very quick for Gary. You played Optimus Prime and Primal, I think it was about 5 series.
Yeah.
What was your favorite?
My favorite?
Of the 5.
Beast Wars.
Okay, no question.
And